Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Meetinghouse of Provincetown, where we affirm the inherent worthiness and dignity of every person, and where we support each other on our spiritual search for truth and meaning. My name is Reverend Kate Wilkinson, and I am so glad that you have joined us this morning. You didn't let a little weather get in your way. Welcome to all of you in the room, and welcome also to those of you joining us via our live stream from home. We are so lucky this morning to be joined by two very special guests. Our preacher today, bringing the good word, will be longtime activist and educator Byllye Avery. Byllye is the founder of the Black Women's Health Imperative, has worked tirelessly for reproductive rights and racial justice, and she serves on the Provincetown Juneteenth Committee here in town. You will hear more of her story soon. Thank you so much for being with us, Byllye. We are also joined this morning by the fabulously talented James Jackson. Some of you attended his concert this weekend at the Provincetown Theater. We got to hear all about his behind-the-scenes moments on Broadway. And this morning he lends his voice to our worship service with two special songs. He's also on the Juneteenth Planning Committee. Thank you for being here, James. We are dedicating our worship service this morning to Claudette Colvin, who died this week at the age of 86. Now, we all know the name Rosa Parks, right? But 9 months before Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat, 15-year-old Claudette Colvin refused to give up her seat to a white woman in Montgomery, Alabama. She was arrested and became one of 4 plaintiffs in the first federal court case filed to challenge bus segregation in that city. We were not all taught her name because she was an unmarried pregnant teenager. But Claudette is just as much of a hero of the civil rights movement as Rosa Parks. And this morning, on this Martin Luther King weekend, we remember her and her legacy of bravery and defiance in the face of injustice. So this service is dedicated to Claudette Colvin. Before we move on with our worship service, I have just a few announcements to share. Tomorrow, our own Pastor Brenda Haywood will be honored as one of 4 Black activists and racial justice educators here on Cape Cod who will be recognized at the Art Peacemakers Martin Luther King Day gathering in Wellfleet. The day begins at 11 with a song circle in front of Wellfleet Town Hall, followed by a silent march down to the library, and then the program at Preservation Hall to honor Brenda and others. So we hope you can join us, and the church office will be closed tomorrow. We will be open again on Tuesday, and all you knitters out there are invited to join us at 10 o'clock for our next knitting circle downstairs in Acker Bosworth Hall. We're continuing to make prayer shawls for community members who could use a little extra love and care to wrap around them. February begins our winter spirituality series here at the UU Meetinghouse. We have a great lineup of workshops and events, including a visible mending workshop, qigong, meditation, a sound bath, and more. At the welcome table downstairs today, you can sign up for photography as a spiritual practice with Marty Hassel. Marty's in the back, give a wave. This will be on 2 Thursday afternoons, February 12th and 19th. You can also sign up for a workshop with Elspeth Slater, who's also here this morning, called Fostering a Disability-Affirming Congregation. This is going to be held after worship on the last 3 Sundays in February. Elspeth has some great ideas about how we can be the most welcoming and accessible faith community we can be. We hope you'll sign up. Details about these and other offerings are on our website and will also be sent out to our UUMH folk email list this week as well. Finally, if you are attending in person today, we hope you will stick around a little while after the service for coffee and conversation downstairs in Acker Bosworth Hall, but only if you are parked in a parking lot. If you are parked on the street, you're going to want to book it right after the service because a parking ban begins at noon today for a snow emergency. But we will end in time for you to get back to your cars. Let's take a moment now to affirm our Meetinghouse covenant. You can find this printed on the purple laminated cards in your pews. But I'm actually going to say it line by line, so you can also just repeat each line back to me. Love is the spirit of this meeting house.
Love is the spirit of this meeting house.
This is our great covenant.
This is our great covenant.
To dwell together in peace.
To dwell together in peace.
To seek the truth in love.
To seek the truth in love.
And to help one another. Now, as we light our chalice here in the sanctuary, I invite those of you joining us online to light a candle wherever you are. In this way, we can feel connected even while we are apart. This morning, I invite Ingina to light our chalice as I share these words by Gordon McKeeman. Deep calls unto deep. Joy calls unto joy. Light calls unto light. Let the kindling of this flame rekindle in us the inner light of love, of peace, of hope. And as one flame lights another, nor grows the less, we pledge ourselves to be bearers of the light wherever we are. Thank you. And I invite you now to join me in singing our opening hymn, which is number 34 in your gray hymnals, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire. That's hymn number 34 in your gray hymnals, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire. I invite you to rise as you are able in body or in spirit. You may be seated. I invite you to join me now in a spirit of meditation and prayer. During the prayer or at any time during the service, you are invited to light a silent candle at the table to the right of the pulpit, where there is also a journal to record your thoughts and prayers. After the prayer, we will sing together again, Spirit of Life, which is hymn number 123 in the gray hymnals, but You can also find the words to this song printed on those same purple laminated cards. We'll sing it first in English and then in Spanish. Before our spoken prayer this morning, I would like to send some directed prayer energy out into the world. The updates coming out of Minneapolis are not good. It's bad there. And people are living in fear. ICE is out of control, and the city is being threatened with martial law. Although I will note that not many people showed up for that white nationalist rally this weekend. That was not a success. But a call has gone out for clergy to come to Minneapolis this week for a training on Thursday and a huge march on Friday. They are comparing it to Selma when ministers were invited to come down and witness. And I was halfway through buying my plane ticket when I remembered that my disability would make me a very poor participant in this very loud event. Instead, I am helping others to go by pitching in for plane fares and babysitters. But I am sad not to go, and I am proud of my colleagues who are going. Many, many Unitarian Universalist ministers are answering this call this week. And I'm scared for them too. So I thought it would be nice if this morning we could send our energy to all of those already on the ground in Minneapolis and to all those clergy answering the call to show up even in the face of their own fear. May they be safe. May they bring attention to the injustice there. May this gathering make a difference. Thank you. Our spoken prayer this morning is by Wayne Arneson. Spirit of life, we have come into each other's presence this day, seeking a part of ourselves, knowing that we do not live alone, and knowing we cannot live fully if we are for ourselves alone. We gather in thanks for the life and ministry of Martin Luther King Jr., not because we wish to worship him as a saint, but because we wish to embody his dream as a possibility that we make real. We gather with full knowledge of our shortcomings. Our lives set before us many tasks, and often we are not equal to them. We fall short of our own expectations. We find we do not know enough. We are not always patient. We fall into anger, lack the vision. It's painful to acknowledge our shortcomings. Yet here we are, Spirit of life. We are here. Not always perfect, not always wise, not always just, but wonderfully and mysteriously human and alive. We dedicate this time together to renewing our passion. May the stories we share give us courage. May the songs we sing give us hope. May the words we speak give us wisdom. And most of all, may the touch of hands, the sight of faces, the sound of voices lifted in song and affirmation restore in us faith that this world may be made whole, with all its people one. Amen. Our reading this morning is by my colleague, Sean Parker Dennison. Now remember, please, even though these words are coming out of my mouth and they speak of being a UU minister, these are not my words. About 6 months ago, I got a new tattoo. See, I don't want everyone to ask me to see my tattoo in the receiving line. About 6 months ago, I got a new tattoo. It's a lit match on my right wrist, added to an arm full of paintbrushes, pens, and other art supplies. As a minister, my tattoos are sometimes controversial, and I was a little nervous about what people would think about this addition. When people asked why I chose a lit match, I'd joke that it was either to burn the world down or to light my inner chalice. These days, the joke is less funny because things have gotten more serious. As the president gives tax breaks to the most privileged while attacking immigrants, refugees, Muslims, LGBTQ people, people with disabilities, and anyone else he disagrees with, I am more and more committed to resistance. This deepened calling to a life of non-compliance will take a lot of burning. and a lot of light. A magnet on my refrigerator says, "Go forth and set the world on fire." St. Ignatius Loyola. For me, it's a statement of passion and a reminder that in order for justice to flourish, injustice must be dismantled. In order for freedom to be real, fences, cells, and walls must be torn down. In order for forests to remain healthy, wildfires must burn away the overgrowth. I am ready to embrace creative destruction as one of the tools we need in these times. But we need more than destruction. We also need to support each other. Lighting the flame of our common chalice, real or symbolic, is a powerful reminder that we cannot sustain ourselves by ourselves. We are not enough individually, and enclaves of like-minded people are not enough. We need each other to share the wisdom of lived experience, to remind each other to keep learning, and to love each other through the inevitable failures and eventual success of our resistance. We need both the burning and the light. Spirit of justice, help us be courageous and committed in these times. Let us transform our ideals into action, our words into deeds. Let the fire of our passion burn with both light and warmth. In our anger, help us embody the spirit of creative destruction, always making room for more justice, more compassion, more love. May it be so. May we be the ones that make it so. Amen. Now is the time when we take a collection for the ongoing support of this Meetinghouse and our shared ministry. As we enjoy a musical reflection by James Jackson, we welcome your donations here in the sanctuary or online through PayPal or Venmo. You can find that information on our website, uumh.org. At this point, I invite 3 or 4 volunteer ushers forward to take up our collection. On and off site, your offerings will be gratefully received.
I went up to the mountain because you asked me to. Up over the clouds to where the sky was blue. I could see all around me, everywhere. I could see all around me, everywhere. Well, some days I feel like I've never been nothing but tired, and I'll be working till the day I expire. Well, sometimes I lay down, no more can I do. But then I go on again, because you asked me to. Some days I look down, afraid I will fall. And though the sun shines, I see nothing at all. Then I hear your sweet voice, oh, come and then go, come and then go, telling me softly that you love me so. The peaceful valley just over the mountains, the peaceful valley that few come to know. I may never get there ever in this lifetime. Oh, but sooner or later, it's there I will go. Sooner or later, it's there I will go.
Thank you so much. There is a wonderful quote by the American theologian, minister, and civil rights leader Howard Thurman that says, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do that. Because what the world needs most is people who have come alive." Another minister, Frederick Buechner, once said, "The place God calls you to is the place where your deep gladness and the world's deep hunger meet." This morning, we welcome to the pulpit someone whose life work has been at the very nexus of need and passion. She offers us a sermon entitled "The Power of Passion, Commitment in Action." Please help me welcome Byllye Avery.
Wow. Good morning. Oh my goodness, I just want to look around the room first a minute, get myself a little grounded. Thank you so much for coming out this morning. Thank you for being here, offering this support. I see my Juneteenth family. I see my family of choice. I see friends. Thank you for your love. Thank you for loving me for the time that we've been together. When Reverend Kate called, I said, "Well, what do you want me to talk about? Tell me what you want me to do." And she said, "I want you to talk about passion." And so I said, okay, so let me think a bit about passion, because people tend to tell me I'm a very passionate person. They used to say I was intense. And I didn't really quite understand what intense meant, but I think they meant I was passionate. So when I thought about why am I passionate, and the first thing I thought about was because I care. But that's too much of an easy answer. We care about a lot of things. A lot of people care about a lot of stuff, but they're not passionate about it. So I started to examine the word passion. What does it mean? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? What color is it? For me, it's red, and Gina says it's orange. But what is your color? Is it just being hot, feeling erotic, feeling good, feeling warm? What is it? You might want to reframe passion. It's not just about excitement. It's more about what you refuse to turn away from. So the question is, how did I become so passionate about women's health? And you only have to talk to me for a few minutes before you'll know that this has been my life's work for 50 years, and I still have the same feelings that I had almost from the beginning. They've lasted over time. One advantage of being 88 is that you have a lot of time to sit and think about what happened. Where did the time go? What did I do all those years, And sometimes you get an insight, and things influenced you that were influencing you at the time that you didn't realize were influencing you. So I learned, and I'm going to share with you, my passion was shaped by a college that taught me how to think. A man who we'll celebrate tomorrow, I heard his sermons, and I remember them as if they were delivered yesterday. And women who taught me how to tell the truth. And I learned that passion is root clarity. In 1955, I entered Talladega College in Talladega, Alabama. Y'all know it for the Speedway. It's a little college nestled in the Talladega National Forest. So I arrived on campus fresh from DeLand, Florida, having only spent one night in my entire lifetime not in my parents' house. And here I was going off to college. And in those days, nobody went to college to look at schools. Nobody went around anywhere to look at schools. I picked this school out when I was in the 7th grade, and I arrived on that campus when I went to college. That's the way it was, at that time. So I remember the first thing I attended was a play. That's the pop you were talking about? The peas, all right. So be careful of the peas. And so the first thing I attended was a play by Arthur Miller, The Crucible. Now, y'all in Massachusetts know about The Crucible. And it was during the time of McCarthyism. And so Henry Miller was being criticized, of course, because the play showed how authority figures do witch hunts in order to keep you from dealing with real societal problems, and their means to consolidate power. Does that sound familiar? And so that's the first play I saw on campus. Did I have any idea what that meant? Did anybody say to us, this is a political play, this is what we're doing? No. They left that for us to learn. In my sophomore year, a young Baptist preacher from Montgomery, Dexter Avenue Church, was our Founders Day speaker, Dr. Martin Luther King. He wasn't Dr. Martin Luther King then. He was Dr. Martin Luther King. But he talked to us about the 3 kinds of love. He talked about erotic, he talked about platonic, and he talked about redemptive love. And he said the most important of all three was redemptive love. And so we're all sitting there, audience full of black students and 2 Chinese students, thinking, what is he talking about? He said, I mean specifically, you will not be free until you find it to forgive white people for all of the horrible things that they've done to you. And we kind of looking at him. He said, you will not be free. This is a time of lynching, of deep segregation, of all of the bad things, of the marginalization of a group of people who told us we were not good enough. We couldn't learn. We can't go here. We're not good enough to sit next to you. We can't eat at the same place you eat. We can't go in the front door of places. We have to go down the side. And yet we have to forgive them. But that was his message. We would not be free as long as we held on to all of the hatred. Okay, Dr. King. Then for my graduation, this time he was becoming Dr. Martin Luther King. He was our graduation speaker. And it was the beginning, really the coalescing of the civil rights movement. And he said to us, you have to go out into the world and do something. You don't have the luxury of sitting on the sidelines and watching. So of course, I immediately left there, got married, had 2 children, and started running and living my life, And I married a man. We had the children, and we wanted to go back to school. We were living in Jacksonville, Florida. We didn't like Jacksonville. We went down to Gainesville, University of Florida, and had these dreams. And when we finished school, we were all going to move out to the Pacific Northwest, and we just had this whole life we were going to live in front of us. When in 1970, he had a massive heart attack at age 33 and died. And I had these 2 kids, 4 and 7 years old. And I was still a scared little girl from D-Land, Florida, not really knowing what I was going to do with my life. I got involved in the women's health movement. And the way that happened is my job, I was a head teacher at the University of Florida for a unit of children who had autism. But the unit was headed up by Paul Adams, who was a Quaker. And he had justice in the center of his life. And the unit where I worked was a place where conscientious objectors could come. And so he gave an assignment to me and Judy Levy to talk about what was happening with women's reproductive rights, what was going on. Well, immediately I got scared because I knew women's reproductive rights was about abortion, and I knew I was going to ask to talk about abortion, and what was my mama going to think, because I had never had that word, and I was terrified. And so one of the people there pulled me to the side and said, listen here, you're a grown woman. Pull up your big girl panties, and your boss is giving you an assignment, and you'd better do it. And I did. And from that, we started to, the 3 of us, me, Judy, and Margaret Parrish, kind of became known as the women who could help women get abortions. And so, we didn't know anything about it, but they said we were the experts, so we immediately became the experts. So we got information, and whenever the white women would come, we would give them the information. We could give them the telephone number to the Catholic priest at Judson Church in New York City, and they would go, and they would get them to the Women's Center, and they would have their safe abortions, and everything was fine. Well, a black woman came, And we were getting ready to give her the phone number. And she says, I don't know nobody in New York. I don't have any way to get to New York. And, you know, she went away empty-handed. And several weeks later, I pick up the paper, and she died from a self-induced abortion. And that did something to us. We opened up an abortion clinic in 1974, and we found out that not only were women dissatisfied with a lot of things around health care, lack of access to safe abortion, they were also very upset about birth. So 4 years later, we opened up Birthplace, an alternative birthing center with midwives. So I have always spoken about abortion and birth. They are of the same coin. Many of us have the same experiences. And but what was not there for me were black women coming in for the well woman care. They were coming in for the crisis. Black women, we were more than 50% of the abortions, but almost no percent coming back for the well woman care, how to take care of your body. And that puzzled me. And so I joined the board of the National Women's Health Network. Some of you might remember the book, Our Bodies, Ourselves. A lot of these women were part of the National Women's Health Network. And it was there in that moment, a moment of being there, that something took a hold of me. And I got the insight that I needed to figure out from black women, what did we need to do? So the first thing I did was I got a book called Health United States 1979 and looked at the health statistics. I had no idea that black women's health was number one on all the bad lists. Everything white women had, we had twice as much. And I didn't know that because in my family, we were relatively healthy, as we thought. Wesley's family, quite different. So it made me start looking into women's health. And I can remember when I read the health statistics, I was so angry. I threw the book across the room. I was it just infuriated me that these poor health statistics were written in a book somewhere, and nobody was doing anything about it. Nobody. Earlier in 1975, I attended the first Women's Health Conference in Boston on women and health. And there I witnessed hundreds of women coming together to talk about health. And at this particular moment, I thought, that's what I want to do. I want to bring black women together so we can talk about health. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to do it. All I knew was that I had to do it. And so I told my son Wesley, who was 21 years old, I said, I want to start a national organization on a nonprofit organization on black women's health issues. He said, Mama, why you want to do that? First of all, nonprofits don't make money. And second of all, it's a thing that's going to go on forever. And I said, oh, you're right. I better get started. And so we traveled the country, the dusty roads of Atlanta, all over the country, bringing together black women. And at first I didn't know, I want to tell you this part because this is crucial. You want to know how you be an ally. I didn't know black women all over the country. I knew black women in Gainesville, I knew black women in Jacksonville, I didn't know them all over the country. But through the network, these were white women from all over the country. And they would say to me, what can I do to help you? Do you know any black women where you live? Introduce me to them. And that's what they did. And that way, we were able to travel the country and tell the women the dream that I had of convening the first national conference on black women's health issues at Spelman College. Well, we thought we'd have 200 to 300 women come. we had over 2,000. And that conference, now this is something, I didn't think of this way. I have to give credit where credit is due. We were written up in the New York Times about 3 years ago, and they said that conference changed the way the whole country thought about health. It's not just about the individual behavior. It's about the systems around us, systemic racism within our systems, a lack of access to care. I mean, what does it matter that we're supposed to have the greatest health care available in the world, but we can't get it? We don't have it, as far as I'm concerned. I go to a lot of other countries where they have health clinics on every other corner. I also say, I wish we had a health clinic for every liquor store we had. Just think in Provincetown, we have 3 or 4 health centers right here. And if you go to the pot centers, we'll be overrun, But it's, how do you want to think about that? And so we looked at that and start blaming us and start look at these systems that affected our lives and started putting value on stress, value on peace of mind, feeling good about yourself, mental health issues. We started looking at sexual abuse. We started, even before Me Too and all of that, we black women broke the conspiracy of silence around sexual abuse in small groups in their living rooms in the early 80s. We talked about incest. We talked about rape in our own families. And it's not just black women, it's white women too. Because I go and speak at all these white colleges and those girls would be lined up to tell me their stories. They were scared to go home at Thanksgiving. They had to have places to go. So I'm just saying to you that when I worked on black women's health, that I was working on health for everybody, not just for black women. But it's like a set of building blocks. You have a set of building blocks. If you change the lives of the people on the top, nothing happens to these people. But if you change the lives of the people on the bottom, you raise up for everyone. And so that was one of our goals. So now you see why I'm passionate about it. Now you see why it's exciting. Now you see why women, I had one person told me, I am living my life and I am not in it. We started forming self-help groups around the country. It didn't take money. All it took was someone to open up their living room, invite sisters in. We gave them a way to talk about their lives. What was it like for you growing up? What was hard? What was good? And what do you absolutely adore about yourself? Most of the women would say the hardest question was, what do I love about myself? Because we get so many conflicting messages about us. Your hair is too kinky. You're too dark. You're too light. Your feet too big. Your eyes are crooked. You're so and so and so. And we take all that in. We take all those messages in. And so we have to go and learn how to unhook from that. How to know that you are all born warm, zestful, loving, creative human beings. We deserve to be here, but we don't deserve to be messed with by anybody. And we don't have to take it. It's a big lesson of self-love. When we first started talking about self-love, the black women say, that's selfish. That's selfish. And we had to say, if you don't love you, what make you think anybody else want to love you? You are the most important person in the world to you. You're not the only important person in the world, but you're the most important to you. All of this had to happen before we could even start to think about examining our breath, going and getting a mammogram, going and getting pap smears, dealing with all of it. You got to know that we are worthy, that we are good, that we are whole. This is a part of the work that creates the passion for me. This is the part of the work that sustains me. And, but being passionate is not perfect. It's exhausting sometimes. Let me tell you, sometimes I get so tired, I just want to go sit down somewhere and have a cool drink of water, But you sit down, you rest, you get up, and you go right back to it again. You go right back to it again. Passion is not what excites you. It's what you're willing to carry, even when no one is watching. My charge to you is, name what you can no longer ignore. And then listen deeply to your soul before you act. And when you reach that critical point, you realize this is it. To quote June Jordan, who's going to do this? We are the ones. No one's going to come and save us. We have to save ourselves. There's one point I want to go back and mention. I'm so energized now. It's so hard. You have to kind of hunt for things to feel hopeful about, to keep yourself going, stay on that positive note. So right now I'm following the monks who are walking through the South. And have you seen the crowds? Have you seen the people who want peace? Now, I'm not sure how all of that is going to translate, but I'm taking just the part that we're looking at now, because I have been shocked how in 50 years, we got people who were born after integration, who sat by people that look like me all their lives, who have been around us, gone to school with us, done all these things, and yet still they can come out with all these racist attitudes. They know that stuff is not true. We are all one people. We are all one people, and all this tribalism and all this hatred, it is just so painful to see. It's so hard to witness. I cannot believe it sometimes. And it's worse now, I think, than it was before, right after slavery. It's just as bad, and it feels bad. And they ask you about intersectionalism. Why does it feel when you're discriminated as a black woman? It feels bad all the way around. Whether I'm being discriminated as black or being discriminated as a woman or being discriminated as lesbian or whatever, they all feel bad. We don't have to live with this oppression. But let me finish my closing. I got carried away there. But I want you to go inside yourself and examine what is passion for you. And no, not everybody's going to be passionate about the same thing, and not everybody's going to be passionate for a long time. Like, there have been many sisters who have come with me on this journey. Over 40 years, the Black Women's Health Imperative is founded. And some of them still say to me, "Oh, you still doing that?" And I'm thinking, what else would I be doing? But as Ngila has taught me, people come and people go. Just because they work in the movement doesn't mean they're going to stay in the movement. But there are a lot of us. There are people who can join. And I encourage you, reach out. Hold on to each other. We have got to keep the faith and know that we will overcome, and know that justice has got to be the winner here. Thank you so much for allowing me to share with you. Ashe, Asheo.
Thank you so much, Byllye. I think they want you to come back. In the interest of time, we're going to skip our closing hymn, but I do want to pose to you our question of the week. This is something that we've started doing. It can be a topic of sharing at coffee hour today or with friends during the week. If you'd like to delve deeper into this question, we invite you to join us on Tuesday at 5 o'clock on Zoom for our Zoom coffee hour. If you're not on our UUMH folk list and need that link, please contact Kenneth in the office and he can get that information to you. Remembering that Howard Thurman says what the world needs more of is people coming alive. Our question this week is, what brings you alive? And bonus question, what do you absolutely adore about yourself? What brings you alive and what do you absolutely adore about yourself? I'm going to end with these closing words by James Morrison. Within each of our hearts there is a most glorious light. Go forth and let its spark help you understand what troubles both you and others. Go forth and let its light of reason be a guide in your decisions. Go forth and bring its ray of hope to those in need of help in both body and spirit, that they may find healing. Go forth and fan the flames of passion to help heal our world. Go forth and spread the warm glow of love. Go forth and share your glorious light with the world. Go in peace.
Many's the time I've been mistaken, and many times confused. Yes, and I've often felt forsaken and certainly misused. Oh, but it's all right. I'm all right. I'm just weary to my bones. Still, you don't expect to be bright and bon vivant, so far away from home. So far away from home. I don't know a soul who's not been battered. I don't have a friend who feels at ease. I don't know a dream that's not been shattered or driven to its knees. Oh, but it's all right. It's all right. See, we've lived so well so long. Still, when I think of the roads we're traveling on, I wonder what's gone wrong. Can't help but wonder what's gone wrong. And I dreamed I was dying, dreamed that my soul rose unexpectedly, that looking back down at me smiled reassuringly. And I dreamed I was flying, and high up above my eyes could clearly see the Statue of Liberty sailing away to sea. And I dreamed I was flying. Some come on the ship they call the Mayflower. I come on the ship that sailed the moon. We come at the age's most uncertain hour, and we sing an American tune. Oh, but it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. We can't be forever blessed. Still, tomorrow's gonna be another working day, and I'm trying to get some rest. That's all I'm trying, is just to get some rest.